How's everybody doing today? All right, so I'm a little bit louder than what you might be used to. So I hope that you stay awake with me. Now, I believe in ultimate energy, right? So I want you guys to be as energetic as I am. If I don't feel you energetic, somewhere towards the end of this, I'm going to be talking like this because, it's a really cool thing to be a real. You guys with me? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to tell you a quick story, right? I think it's only fair that I tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a little bit crazy of a business person, and I enjoy that. I wrote a book recently called Take Action. And the idea behind the Take Action book was to be able to take the idea that you come up with and remove all the bullshit in the middle of execution. Does that make sense? Yes. Does anybody mind that I curse? If you mind, please let me know. And then just stay outside for the next 30 minutes. The idea was to really make sure that I was implementing into everyone else or trying to get people into the entrepreneur mindset. To be an entrepreneur, people take risks, right? Most of us took a risk to become a real estate professional. Am I wrong? You're commission-based, there's no salary, there's no first and the 15th, most don't have health care, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Can I keep going? I want you to think to yourself, what differences can you make in the community as you move forward in your business? So you guys are all entrepreneurs. Am I wrong? No, right? So now we're going to try something a little bit different. Anybody military here? Great. Stand up if you're in the military. You're active, reserve, I don't care. Stand up. All right, give that guy a round of applause. What branch of service were you in?
Marine Corps.
Marine Corps, right? All right, so I was in the Marine Corps for 9 years, so this is what I like to do when I coach. I like to teach everybody the word hoorah. Everybody heard this before, right? You watched a movie or two? Okay? Now, hoorah, what does hoorah stand for? It stands for actually everything, right? Am I wrong? It really stands for everything. It's just how you say it, It's like, hey, man, let's go to the store. Hoorah, I'll go with you. We're going to take over the hill. Hoorah! My mother died today. Hoorah. Right? It all depends how you say it. It just all means the same thing. So when I ask for your acknowledgement, what do I want to hear? Hoorah. Hoorah, right? So if I say good to go, you say hoorah. All right, you guys with me for the rest of this? Yeah. Fantastic. Let's get busy. All right, so now you guys catch on pretty quick. I've done this 100 freaking times, and it's like, yeah, I'm ready. I don't know what to say. All right, so there are a billion steps to success, and we're going to talk about a bunch of them today. And most of you have succeeded in multiple levels. Now, every time I try to speak, I try to get everyone in the room to try to surpass what they've already succeeded at. Some of you are new, some of you are experienced, some of you are comfortable, some of you are still stuck 20 years ago. Am I wrong? No, it's hoorah. Hoorah. There you go, okay? So now, the reason that I talk about it like this is because we're going to go through several different things, and I want you guys to stick with me. Now, the first thing I always start with is mindset. Who here believes that mindset is the #1 tool in any business? Hoorah. All right? Now, the reason I bring this up is because I want you to go through a paradigm shift today in your mindset. We're going to talk about different things because you're going to hear other coaches tell you certain things, and I'm going to throw a lot of that shit out the window. You with me? Hoorah? Hoorah. All right. So now, the reason that I bring mindset up is because if your mind is not right, your business can't be right. Shoot, your life can't be right. Hoorah? Hoorah. So we're going to go through a little shift today. I want everybody to clear everything that they thought was right out of your mind. And I want you to just willingly accept what I'm telling you. And then I want you to think about it after and see if it fits your business. And if you decide it doesn't fit your business, ask yourself why. Fair enough? Right? Right. All right? Now, what I don't want you to say is, because this is too hard. Or I don't really want to work that hard. Because then you're saying you don't want to be successful. And success is not easy, am I right? Right. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to talk first about habits. Now, who knows how long it takes to create a habit? 66 days for difficult habits, 21 days for easy habits. The reason that I bring this up is because I want you to try something new. See, everybody always tries to create the difficult habit. The difficult habit being, I'm going to call 100 people a day, every day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, for the next 3 months and see how that changes my business. How long does that last? Day, if you're looking, right? Day. You got to like call 50 and the 50th person was like, déjame quieto! And you're like, oh shit, that's it, I'm done, right? Now half the room said, oh shit, the white guy just spoke Spanish. Yes, soy boricua, I speak Spanish, we're good, okay? Now, 66 days for difficult tasks, 21 days for easy tasks. What is an easy task? Let's talk about simple things. Simple as having a piece of toast with your breakfast every day for 21 days. What do you think happens on 22? You feel kind of uncomfortable not having that piece of toast with your breakfast, right? Okay? Now, the reason that I bring this up is because habits are very difficult to attain. But if you start them small and you grow them little by little, they are very, very easy to make happen. So in my brain, I've tossed out the 66 days. The reason that I've tossed out the 66 days and the reason that I coach my students completely different is because I ask them, what is it that you want to do? They tell me, I want to make 100 calls a day, 6 days a week for the rest of my career. Because I want to make sure that I'm growing systematically all the time and my pipeline's full. Fantastic. This is what we're going to do for the next week. We're going to start with 20 calls. Fair enough? Right? The next week after that, we're going to do 30 calls. The next week after that, we're going to do 40 calls. I want you to build up to 100 calls. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to build up to 100 calls. I want you to hit 100 calls. Then I want you to have a paradigm shift in your mindset, and I want you to say, forget 100 calls. I'm going to call till I get the 2 appointments a day that I need. Right? Doesn't that make a lot more sense? Yes. Right? So I get people that come up to me and they say, I want to make 100 calls a day, blah, blah, blah. Well, great. What if you call 100 people and you don't get any appointments? Are you done for the day? I'm not done for the day. I need to sell houses, right? So I talk to my students often, and I'm talking to you guys, and I want you guys to really do this. Whatever it is that you want to do in your business, whether it be social media. I teach social media, post 8 times a day. Video live 1 time a day at least. Is it easy to just wake up today and go, screw it, I'm going to go 8 times a day? No, sometimes you got to just go 2 times a day. Then you go 3 times a day. Then you go 4 times a day. Next thing you know, you feel weird if you're not putting it on social media. I mean, it just didn't happen if it wasn't on Facebook, right? So I want you guys to really think about creating habits, because creating habits are going to be a big part of your business plan. And I don't care what it is. It could be personal, weight loss, you want to work out and get buff, whatever it is. Start small and build the habit. Right? Right. All right. So this class is going to go a little bit faster because we were short on time. So bear with me, guys. If you have questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I'd be happy to point at you and answer you to the best of my ability. If I do not know the answer, what will I do, Marie? I'll find it out, right? Right. All right. Now, we are in this wonderful business that's completely and positively limitless. And I'm not talking about the pill or the movie. We are in the one business where numbers should not even matter to you when it comes to limits. Does that make sense? So last week, I had a mindset paradigm shift. Last week, I attended a group called the Closing Table Mastermind. Anybody ever heard of them? Anybody ever heard of the War Room Mastermind? So all these millionaires and billionaires get together in the war room and they meet 3 times a year. They pay 25 grand a piece to be a part of this. And basically what they do is they sit together in a room and share ideas. And the ideas that they share are, this is what worked for me in the last quarter, and this is where my challenges were. And then the rest of the millionaires and billionaires in the room give some advice. And they brainstorm on how to make it better. And basically that 25 grand that they paid are making them millions and millions every year. So the Closing Table group invited me to come out and sit in one of their groups. And I won't lie to you. In my brain, I had limited myself in my sales volume, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So for 2018, we have a $1 billion sales goal in our company, okay? And when I left that class, I said, why did I limit myself? And when I say limit, I created art pieces for my office that say $1 billion, because I was making sure it was in everybody's head, right? And I limited myself because I saw other brokerages doing 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, implementing very simple things. Things that you could research yourself and go online and find out. Implementing simple things into their business, or implementing very simple training into their business that allowed their agents to succeed at a much higher level, raising their price points and raising their closing count. We went up for the most innovative brokerage of the year at Inman this a couple months ago. All my competitors have been in the business for about 5-6 years. My brokerage has been open. I've been in real estate for over a decade. My brokerage has been open for 15 months. So I met this guy, Sam, and we're standing at the bar, and we're talking, and he says, I'm up for this award. I said, wow, me too. He says, tell me about your business. And I tell him that we had, at the time, been open for just about a year. It had been a year and a week, actually. And he looked at me and he said this exact thing. He said, what the fuck are you doing here? Yeah. It was cool. I understood. He had been open 5 years, 750 agents. I've been open 12 months, 85 agents. And once we got the stories out, he understood that I was doing things very differently. And I understood why he was there and what he was doing. But Sam has over 3,000 transactions closed and $1.5 billion in sales volume. That's crazy. And I went with him to the mastermind, and he was one of the smaller producers. Better yet, he did it as a brokerage. There were teams surpassing him. I want you to think about that for a minute. Then there were people who were limiting themselves to their brokerages. And then I met a really great guy. Anybody ever heard of Lab Code Agents? Yes. Right? You guys in the group? So Tristan and I have a conversation. Tristan created Lab Code Agents. And we're sitting down, we're talking, and he says, well, where were you before? I said, Douglas Elliman. He said, well, I love Douglas Elliman. I have a team there. I said, didn't you just say you were at Keller Williams? He goes, yeah. So well, how do you have a team at Douglas Elliman? I just build the team over there. Because I have a team there, a team at Compass, and a team at Century 21. I don't need to be in the company to run the team. This is somebody who decided they were going to break free of their own brokerage. I said, why do you stay at Keller Williams? He goes, caps. Right? All his teams are on 50-50 splits with him. When he gets that 50% referral fee from his team, he's capped out at KW. It's 100% profit for him. So he made a business decision to stay there and open multiple teams. His KW team focuses on one price point. Compass and Douglas Elliman focus on hiring property, right? That team focuses on hiring properties. And his Century 21 team actually focuses on 55 and above. For his area, that makes sense. Right? So what I want you to do now is think about how you're limiting yourself in your business and life. And I talk a lot about this, business and life. See, I love business. But without a personal life, your business will fail as well. Right? My fiance teaches me that quite often. When I'm at the office till 9, 10 o'clock at night, she's like, you know the plátanos have been ready for a long time, right? She's Dominican, so that's what it's like. Right? All right? Now, the next thing we're going to talk about fear. There's only one way to surpass your fears. Acknowledge that you're afraid and break through them. Attack them. Go full force. Why do most people not accomplish a goal? Because they're afraid of what? Failure. They're afraid to fail. So most people will not accomplish a goal because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid of something. Shoot, I've spoken to real estate agents who were afraid to go full-time real estate because of what their parents would say. Not because they would fail, but because their parents were old school and said, hey, you need a 9 to 5, do your 20 years, earn your pension, just relax. Or, hey, go to college, Do your thing, become a lawyer or a doctor, that's respectable. Because obviously, we're not respectable. And so, these folks, they're facing a very strong fear, and that fear is losing family, losing friends, etc., etc., etc. Now, this continues to happen as you grow. How many of you are doing a GCI of over $250,000 a year? Did you lose some friends along the way? Absolutely, right? Why? Too busy for them, right? Or they're just not on the same wavelength as you, right? So you're focusing on bigger numbers. Who's doing over $100,000 in GCI? Perfect. Who's doing under $100,000 in GCI? Under $100,000 in gross commission income? No one? So no one's doing under 100, no one's doing above 100 or above 250. Who's doing zero volume right now? Right? Remember in the whole beginning when I was like, you guys gotta fucking participate? That's what I was talking about, right? How many real estate agents in the room? Keep the hands up. Mortgage brokers, keep the hands up. Keep the hands up, keep the hands up. Now, let's talk GCI. How many of you, those doing over 250, put your hand down? Come on, keep them up. Those doing over 250, put your hand down. Those doing over 100, put your hand down. All right, don't be afraid to admit. We're just talking about fear. You know why nobody rolls their hand at under 100? Because they ain't want nobody else to know. What they don't realize is that there's a lot of people just like them in the room. And you guys should be collaborating. And you guys should be talking like to this guy right here, who probably more than likely has absolute no problem telling you what he's doing in his business to surpass 250 a year. Am I wrong?
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Right? So break out of your fears and do something different. Fair enough? Hoorah?
Hoorah.
All right, next thing we're going to talk about is this right here. This right here says, defeat is not the worst of all failures. Not to have tried is the failure. Not to have tried is the failure. We just finished talking about that, right? Okay? Now, being a Marine, I'm surprised there's not a lot more military personnel out here being in DC. But being a Marine, one of the biggest things that I remember being taught is that there is a zero margin for failure. Now, how many times have you guys heard a coach stand up here, talk to you, and tell you, fail forward. Learn from your failures. Don't worry, it's okay to fail. In my opinion, that person is standing there telling you, it's okay to fail, go fail. In my opinion. They've already set you up. They've already set you up for failure. Could you imagine if the United States military was taught that way? We'd be a third world country. The United States military is taught that there is zero margin for error, zero margin for failure. Why? It's a little bit different than us. We fail at something, we might lose some money. They lose their what? Their lives. If they fail, there is life loss. 1,000% guaranteed. There's life loss. Even sometimes when they succeed, there is life loss. So imagine if you went into your business every day with the idea that there was no room for failure. Imagine those of you running teams taught your teams that there is no room for failure. And failure will have consequences. Would your businesses be different? Yeah. Right. Who disagrees with me? It's okay to disagree with me. I'm not right at everything. For me to come up here and tell you, fail forward. For me to come up here and tell you, it's okay to fail. For me to come up here and tell you that failure is an option, I'm basically telling you to fail. Because if you fail, you'll learn from your failure. Don't worry, buddy. But with the vast amount of research and internet and everything else, I mean, anything you want to know is in the palm of your hand right now, or in your pocket or in your purse. Everything you want to know. It's almost impossible to fail. I get people that come up to me all the time and say, Zillow doesn't work. Now, personally, I'll tell you, I don't use Zillow. I use other programs, but Zillow doesn't work. Okay. Why doesn't it work? I get the crappiest leads. Okay. Let me ask you a question. How quickly do you get back to that lead? Do you even call the lead? It's Friday night, you get a lead, you're out to dinner, what do? Are you hanging out on Saturday and Sunday? You had a long day at work, it's a Tuesday, and you're sitting on the couch watching Narcos? Right? To go back to that. You get a lead in, what do? Are you going to call them tomorrow? Guess what? That person was on that page. They clicked on you. They asked for you to call them. You didn't. They went to the next page that had a whole brand new set of realtors on the side. Clicked on that page. That guy called them. You lost them forever. How long did that take? 5 seconds? You had a 5-second turnaround. You failed them. They rose their hand and said, please call me. And then you said, tomorrow. If they're serious, they'll pick up the phone. That's my favorite one. If they're serious buyers, they'll pick up the phone when I call them. Well, shit, if you're a serious realtor, you'll pick up the phone and call them when they want to hear from you. Right? All right. Goals. Now, I like this picture a lot because I believe that a lot of us have very similar goals. And if you speak to everybody in this room and you network inside of this room, and I highly suggest that you do so, because I'm sure that not everyone knows everyone in this room, I highly suggest you work the room. I highly suggest you trade business cards, information, or whatever you can, so that you can get to know each other. Take somebody out for a cup of coffee. Talk about what your business does, what their business does, how you can possibly support each other in different areas, and what their goals are. And you'll find that if you spoke to every single person in this room, typically the goals are not that far apart. And this picture to me tells me that there are plenty of goals. There are different avenues of approach to get there. Right? Everyone makes their own way. It's like the GPS, right? Waze tells you one way, the GPS in the car tells you another way, Google Maps telling you another way, iPhone Maps telling you another way. Which one do you listen to? I personally listen to Waze. Why do I listen to Waze? Because it has the most information, it has the most data. People are actually reporting traffic accidents in traffic. So it's going to take you a different way, right? Who believes this? A goal without a plan is just a wish, all right? Now we want to talk about planning. See, when I opened up Kurz Real Estate, I'm going to tell you how it went in a very quick fashion, right? I ran one of the most successful teams in South Florida for Douglas Elliman. By 0 to 100, I mean, by July, we were already about $26 million in sales volume, right? And so in June, middle of June, I go to Vegas with some of my partners. Title, escrow, mortgage, all these folks. We have a weekend together in Vegas with our spouses, et cetera, et cetera. We're sitting in the pool and everybody's talking about how fantastic their business is. And it's my turn. Now, mind you, I'm sitting there listening to business owners and I'm running a team. I'm a business owner. I consider myself an entrepreneur, but I'm still under DE, right? Douglas Elliman. So I get this, my title guy, Rudy, looks at me and he goes, hey, Dave, why don't you open your own brokerage? I said, I'm good where I'm at. I don't have the liabilities. He goes, yeah, but your brand completely surpasses that. Turns around, ignores me for the rest of the time. Completely ruined my weekend. All right, completely ruined my weekend. This is June 15th, weekend of June 15th. I'm sitting there running numbers. My fiance is running numbers because she's in the business too. We're trying to figure out if this really makes sense. If I take my 6 agents and we're already doing that volume, and I put them in a brokerage and then I create a bigger group just like them and we keep our same culture, what could we possibly achieve? So now we're running crazy numbers. That was June 15th. July 1st, I signed a lease on a corner space for 3,000 square feet. Spent a shitload of money remodeling the place. October 3rd, we opened up another 3,000 square feet. We were 6,000 square feet with 20 agents, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a lunatic like that. But I believed that no one was going to outwork me in building that brokerage. We hired over 100 agents in the first year in business. Makes sense, right? Rob? Who here owns a real estate brokerage? How hard is it to recruit? Extremely hard.
Especially in this area.
Okay? To get 100 agents in the first year, what hours do you think you're putting in?
All day long.
All day long, every day. But I knew for a fact that no one was going to outwork me, right? And now we're closing out the year super strong. We're closing out with close to 80 agents because I fired the bottom 10%. And we're going to continue to strive. And next year, mark my words, hopefully I stand up here again with you guys telling you how we hit $1 billion. Hoorah? Hoorah. All right. So now, very big. None of this came without a plan. I know it sounds like it went really fast, right? June 15th, July 1st, I'm just like running through it. But what do you think I'm doing while construction's happening? I'm planning. I'm putting this all together. I'm creating a business plan. Those of you in the room that have an actual written business plan for 2018, raise your hand. Congratulations. And believe it or not, that's a lot more than any other room I've ever been in. So something's right up here. I might just move up here.
DC, right?
In Miami, it's like, right? It's very different. So now, if for those of you that do not have a business plan, you're already late. Okay? You're already late because 2018 started 2 months ago. Right? This is a very cool acronym. SMART. Be smart about your business plan. Okay? Very cool acronym. I picked this up. I don't know who created this, but in my opinion, one of the greatest things. Be specific about what you want to do. Make it measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. Most important in there for me, particularly, specific and time-based. I give myself time limits to create something, and you should too. How many of you have in this room said, I want to write a book, but never did? There's a few, right? Why? Did you give yourself a time limit? No. Now, had you said, I want to write a book by this summer in June, I will be published. Do you think you would accomplish that? You would, because you'd be holding yourself accountable to that. You know what I like to do? I got a big mouth, right? So I like to tell everybody what I'm doing so that people keep me in check. Right? I don't keep my shit a secret. If I'm going to write a book, I say I'm going to write a book this year, and I'm going to do it before the end of the year, and it's going to be called this, and it's going to be about this. And then I tell everybody that I'm writing a book. So that way, the only person that's going to be embarrassed at the end of the year if there's no book published is who? Right? Self. Okay? Now, I'm not going to expect you guys to write this down. So what I would suggest is that you turn on your phones and just put that little recording part on, because I'm going to give you the very basics to creating a business plan. I'm going to make it so dummy-proof, it's going to be great. You with me? You guys ready?
Ready.
All right. This is what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper. I want you to write down what your 4 major goals for this year are. Okay? I want them to be financial. I want them to be personal. I want them to be about your business and your growth. Right? All right. That's cool. Then, what I would like for you guys to do is take those 4 major goals and I want you to separate them into 4 different papers. Now, I like to do this in a very large conference room. So I sit down in the conference room and I set these things apart, right? And then on each one of those, I write the 4 most important steps to reach that goal for the year. All right? All right. So I'm taking the 4 most important steps to reach that goal for the year. Each one of those steps will then get 3 major things I need to do to accomplish that one step. You guys with me? So now I got 4 major steps, and each of them are going to get 3 major things I need to do to accomplish that step. Inside of that, if I want to get deeper, every single one of those major things is going to get 4 minor steps to accomplish that major thing. Right? What did I just do? Anybody picked up on this? I broke down your entire year. I took your 4 major steps for the year to reach the major goal, right? I want to sell $1 billion in real estate. What are the 4 major things I need to do to sell $1 billion in real estate? Those are 4 quarters. What are the 3 major steps I need to take in order to reach that? Those are my 3 months in each quarter. What are the 4 things I need to do to reach each one of those steps? That is every week of my year. Is this easy to do? Yes. It's just time consuming and requires thought process. But I promise you that as you start to write this stuff out, it'll automatically start coming to you. And you will start upping your own game. Because one accomplishment will mean another accomplishment, and they'll tie together somehow, right? Now, if you have really big goals and you have a lot of stuff going on in your life, for instance, I have 4 different companies. I'm writing business plans for 4 different companies. However, I'm one person. I've merged them all together. So that when I have my book and I go through it, I know exactly what I am supposed to be doing that month, that quarter, that week, down to the dime. Now, I like to keep notes. Remember those habits that we talked about before? I like to keep notes. So what I'll do is I'll keep notes every single week on what I need to do to accomplish this week. And then what I like to do is put lines right through them as I accomplish them. What does that do for you as a human being? It releases these amazing endorphins in your body that say, you have accomplished something. All right? And believe it or not, shit works. I know it sounds funny, but it works. It works. Writing down a list of things you got to do and then putting a line through them when you complete them, you're like, I'm in. Well, what I've helped you do right now is understand how to simplify writing a business plan. See, most people won't write a business plan because they just don't know how. Most people have goals, but they don't know how to reach them. All right? Who here has goals? It's fantastic. Does everyone in this room know exactly how they're going to get to their goals? Step-by-step process, week over week. The only guy in the room doing over 250 GCI. Did that just correlate to everybody? Right? Right? Does that mean he's the only one in the room that can do over 200? No, actually, I think there's enough real estate out there, correct me if I'm wrong, that every single person in this room can hit over 250 GCI, right? I've got members of teams hitting over $200,000 in GCI, members of teams. Meaning that they're on 50-50 splits and they're still getting it. Right? That means that everyone in this room can accomplish that. Right? You guys with me or are you falling asleep? See, that's where it gets confusing, right? What does that really mean? I'm falling asleep or what? So now we're going to give you some simple tips to success because I got to get off this stage, right? I got to get off? Yeah? First thing is, get that business plan into effect ASAP. Right now. Like, we finish this business rally, we're going to dance some salsa later on, you're going to get a couple scotches in you, everything's going to be good, but when you go home, start figuring this out. Start throwing shit against the wall is what I like to call it. Right? When I start creating my business plan, I just start writing things down that I want to do next year. And then I organize it. Right? Okay? Like for me, I know that I will have 4 new businesses up and running next year. So I have those incorporated. Are these businesses outside of the realm of real estate? No, not for me. What I'm doing is doing things that will support my brokerage. Except instead of having partners, I'm partnering. Right? I want you to think about that for a minute. Because as you start to make more money, you'll have the capability to do so. Next thing is, use video as much as possible. Now in the last presentation, you saw that video is taking over the internet, right? Facebook and YouTube are in a big battle right now. Because Facebook says that they have more video views than YouTube does. But Facebook cheats. Because Facebook starts the video as you're scrolling down your time feed. So as long as you stay on that video for about 3 seconds, they count it as a view. Does that matter? No, that only matters between them two. For us, what does it matter? To put content and video out there as much as possible, right? Now, if you are creating video, I would highly suggest subtitling your videos, right? You watch videos and you see the words on the bottom. Where do your eyes go first? To the moving words, right? Okay? Why does that work? Are you more apt to open that video now if the first few words make sense to you, right? Use video as much as possible. Scale social media to boost your business. Social media is here to stay. Facebook is not going anywhere. YouTube is not going anywhere. Twitter is in dire trouble and they're still not going anywhere. Someone will buy them at some point and make them better. Instagram is not going anywhere because, well, let's face it, they're Facebook. And people love to take pictures of shit, right? I ain't never seen so many photographers come out of the loop when Instagram was invented. But we laugh about it and we look at people when we talk about how silly it is. Look at them, I took a picture of their food. Is it my voice? Is it too sexy for the machinery?
This is so powerful that the power can come
Pass me that iPad real quick, please. Thank you. We don't need that. So the best part here is that I never ever use a PowerPoint presentation to do my presentations, and here we are. I use it for the first time, and my PowerPoint presentation keeps falling apart. It's a sign, right? Stop doing that shit. Talk from the heart, damn it. So, scale social media to boost your business, but learn it very well. Facebook is very smart because they change their algorithms consistently. Now, if the word algorithm just made you uninterested in doing this, hire somebody to do it for you. It's really that simple, right? So I met the owner of digitalmarketer.com. Anybody ever heard of them? Right? I met the owner of digitalmarketer.com. The guy's a billionaire off digitalmarketer.com. He charges $5,500 a month, and he will take care of your blogging, your social media, your SEO content, the whole nine. $5,500 a month. In my brain, I'm thinking, that's a winning situation for me. Because I don't know how to keyword and SEO and all that other stuff, nor do I want to know. Ron? Right? How many of you have an assistant? How many of you agree that your assistant saved your ass? Right? Helped you grow your business. Am I wrong or right? Wrong?
Oh, wrong.
All right? Why is that? Because you gave your assistant all the things you hate to do.
Yeah.
And you became better at what you love to do. All right? Right? Now, the next thing is invest in yourself. Now, this is a twofold thing. The first side is what everybody tells you. Invest in yourself. Invest in your education. Like for right now, here, Business Rally, you're spending the day here. Give yourselves a round of applause for education. You came here, you made a conscious decision to invest in your own education, and hopefully, you learn something from this, and you don't do a brain dump on the way to the car. Right? Why is Tony Robbins so rich? Huh? Because he pumps you up for a weekend, he sells you some more expensive shit, and on the way to the car, you forget everything he said, so you come back the next time he's in town. Could you imagine if you went to a Tony Robbins weekend and then you just applied everything he said? You'd be the next Tony Robbins. Right? All right? Now, the other side to this is you guys are blessed to be in a business that you get first dibs on investment opportunities. Invest in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I learned this very late. And I wish I would have learned it a very long time ago. So for you young people in the room, pay attention. Set yourself up a goal for 2018 to invest and own property. And stop helping other people get rich. Aram? You tell me what's better. You have an investor, and every time you come into a badass property, you give it to the investor, and you make 3% off of the lower price, and hopefully you get the flip when it's ready as a listing agent, or you buy the property and flip it yourself. Where do you make more money? You being the investor, right? Now there's a trick to this. I know some of you in the room are going, but I don't have the money to do this. It's fantastic. Use somebody else's money. How does this work? Is there such thing as hard money lenders in DC?
Yes.
Huh? They're right there. How much do you guys charge? How much down payment for a hard money loan on a flip property?
20%.
20% down payment?
A couple thousand points.
And a couple, what do you got, 2 points, 3 points?
2 points, 10%, 9 to 11%, somewhere in there.
Okay, so they're basically telling you that for 2 points on the loan and 20% down, they will give you a loan for a flip property. So all you gotta do is go find an investor who has 20% of it and go for it. Does that make sense? How much money did you come out of pocket? Nothing. You pay the little interest only, mortgage for 90 days, choose your property right so that you can fix it appropriately and flip it. And sell it quickly. It's not something you want to hold long term. And then last night I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. He said, yeah, you do that so many times so you start using your own money. No, don't use your own money. Keep using other people's money. Just because you put $200,000-$300,000 in the bank doesn't mean you're the billionaire. Use the billionaire's money. Use the bank's money. Use everybody else's money. Buy the property, flip it. Here's a better idea. Who has investor clients in this room? Have you guys ever thought about wholesaling to them? Does anybody know what a wholesale is?
Yes.
Right? See, oftentimes we forget about this. We forget about investing in our own personal wealth. That we turn around and we say, hey guy, I found this great property that I can get for you for $150,000. And if you fix it with 20 grand, we can flip it for $250,000. You made 3% of $150,000. That guy made 100 grand almost, right? Right? What if you went to them and you said, hey, I got this great property I can get you for $170,000. And with 20 grand, you can flip it for 250. But you're getting it for 150. Do you guys do transactional funding?
We do. Absolutely. We also work with wholesalers all the time. So come talk.
So what happens with transactional funding? They charge you a couple points on the loan for you to own the house for the 30 seconds that you own it while it transfers to the other person. Is it worth you paying them 5 grand to make 15 grand? Right?
Wow.
Right? Start researching this. Start looking into this. And don't worry. Don't think to yourself. Some of you right now are already adding self-doubt into this and saying, if we all go and research this, we're all going to be going after the same properties. No, because 98% of you will not do this. Right?
Right.
Just like Tony Robbins, you'll be back next year. Right? Leverage your partners. Now, I'm very big on leveraging my partners, okay? The reason that I'm big on leveraging my partners is because I made a paradigm mindset shift in my head. I said, I used to live in a world where I used to say, these guys support me, they take care of me, you know, blah, 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 blah. Who lives in that mindset? Right? They take care of me, my lender, my title partner, my escrow partner, whatever it is, you know, my home inspector, if I want to hold an open house, they're there with me, right? And then I made this paradigm shift and I said, wait a minute, I'm the one bringing the clients and I'm the one closing the deals. And yes, you are my support system. But you're my support system because you want access to my clients. You want access. You want access. A lot of you start thinking about marketing, start thinking about social media, start thinking about all the things that would help you make money, start thinking about the programs like that $5,500 a month I told you that could potentially make you the #1 most viewed website with the best blogs out there and best social media presence. Have somebody else pay for that. Leverage your partners. Now all the partners in the room went, fucking hassle, man. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Leverage your partners. You are a business. You are a business. So stop giving shit away. Leverage your partners 1,000%. I know brokerages that are leveraging partners to the point, to the tune of $30,000 a month. And I'm talking about everything. The plumber, the termite guy, the this, the that. You want access? I have 3,000 to 4,000 clients per year. You want access? Hurrah?
Hurrah.
Now, the next thing is to make sure that you give back. Always give back. Okay? Give back to your community, give back to charity. I don't care how you do it. I don't care if it's Toys for Tots. I don't care if it's the American Cancer Society. I don't care if it's the Humane Society. Whatever you're into, just make sure that you're actually into it. And you'll see how giving has its rewards. Hurrah?
Hurrah.
Take action in your life and business. We talked about this. The meaning of take action is to simply have an idea and execute without all the bullshit in the middle. Does everybody know what the bullshit in the middle is?
Yeah.
No, that's a bad idea. No, you shouldn't do that. You personally self-doubt, right? Start overthinking it. Imagine if you decide right now you want to go skydiving, you open your eyes and you are on the plane already. See what I'm saying? If you were on the plane already, you'd probably end up jumping. Right? But from here to there, you're already telling yourself, no. Why am I jumping out of a perfectly good airplane? I don't understand this process. Right? But in business and in life, if you would just take action in your business and life, you'll see what a huge difference that would make. Because the biggest enemy is our own, us, the mirror, right? And unfortunately, as Latinos, it's our parents' fault for the most part, because they've been telling us, no, don't do that forever. Let's be real. Get down from there, you're gonna hurt yourself. Bájate de ahí, te vas a romper la cabeza. Right? Or like my mom used to say, si te caes y te rompe la cabeza, te voy a romper la cabeza otra vez. Right? It's their fault. That's basically what it boils down to. Break out of that. Okay? The next thing is surround yourself with success. Surround yourself with success. On the same token as all our crazy parents, they also told us what? You are who you hang with, right? Eres con quien anda. Right? It's the same exact thing in business. Read Robert Kiyosaki's book. He said the same thing. Take your 5 friends that you hang out with the most, average out their salaries, expect to earn that this year. Does that make sense to y'all? Hurrah. Right? Hurrah? 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 Hurrah! All right, thank you. Now, there's a lot of truth to this. And I can speak to you from experience because I am a Puerto Rican from the Bronx and there's no rich Puerto Ricans in the Bronx. So I'm speaking to you from experience. As soon as he started to make money, as soon as I started to make money, as soon as anybody that's made any kind of money in this room started to make money, people started to fall off. The reason that they started to fall off was because they were either trying to hold you down or talk shit about you because you were getting bougie on them. Right? That's what happens. It's a natural effect, and guess what? It's okay. Because when you move to the better neighborhood and you join the country club and you do this other stuff, you're going to be surrounding yourself with success. Why do you think I paid $25,000 a year to be a part of the closing table? Because I want to be the brokest, dumbest person in the room for as long as possible. Right? If I become a billionaire, I want to join a group of multi-billionaires, all right? I want to be the brokest, dumbest person in the room for as long as possible so that I can keep absorbing, keep learning, keep getting mind shifts because it will happen forever. Right? All right. Next thing, and last but not least, change with the times. Change with the times. But the one thing that you should never ever falter on is customer service. The reason that Leo was up here and he said, I do not believe anytime soon that the realtor will go away, even with all of the technology that's out today. And trust me when I tell you, this technology is completely trying to wipe you out. They're trying everything they can to wipe you out. But this is the one profession where people spend probably the most money they'll ever spend on any one item, and they feel like they need to be held through it. And when you are a professional and you have the utmost customer service, that client will forever be grateful to you, will forever refer you business, and you will forever be in business. Right?
Right.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having me today.